Hello, Victoria from Victoria Finley Wolf Quilts, VFWQuilts.com. Today I want to do a quick little demo for you on snack set number 3, which includes a partial seam block. So anytime I have a template set, I always love to be able to add something that's going to help do a little skill building for you. So if you haven't done a partial seam block before, not difficult to do, but let me give you a little run through on how you piece that. So in snack set number 3, you have 3 different little pieces. You have the rectangle, a square, and the little half square or quarter square triangles that we're going to be using here. So I have all my pieces cut out for the block. You always have the instructions on the paper that show how the little block goes together. All of these blocks in the variety snack set go together very easily. So let me show you how this works. So what's always nice on my templates is that I always have the dog ears cut off. And what does that mean, having the dog ear cut off? That means that when I line this up, just go ahead to sew it. The dog ear, cutting that precisely, means that's my 1/4 inch when I'm going to sew. Okay? That gives me a place to easily line these up so that when I sew those together, I'm going to get a nice straight across edge. Everything's going to line up perfectly. So now let's look at how this partial seam block goes together. So we can see that it's not a straight seam that we're going to be sewing all the way across. We're going to actually start sewing it and then we're going to stop and come back later and finish it. So it's not a hard thing to do. I've lined up my piece. I'm actually going to sew about 3/4 of an inch and then I'm going to stop. Okay? You can backstitch or not. I prefer to backstitch because I don't want to pull my seam out. So there's my partial seam. That just means that I'm going to come back later and finish that seam. For now, I'm going to press this open and I'm going to keep adding my rectangles around the 3 sides. This is the next piece that'll go together. Okay, I'm always pressing that seam allowance to the outside of the block, which is nice. So you can see that these all go together very easily. Straight across, straight seam. And it's that final seam is when I'm going to come back and finish that seam to make the closure of that block. For the moment, I'm also just finger pressing it, but I am going to hit that with an iron before I sew it. I'm going to flip this piece that I started back out of the way. There's my 3rd piece that I'm going to add in. I'm going to hit this quickly with the iron. And now you can see that now I can lay this seam that I left open at the beginning. Now all I have to do is lay that in here and finish sewing it. Okay, so that is sewing a partial seam block. Now that I'm going to sew that piece together. Now when I do these, I'm going to put the 2 opposite sides together, and there's where that dog ear falls into place, because when I lie this on there, look, it lines up perfectly with the edge of my block. Okay, so now I sew the 2 outside edges on, and then I'll finish by sewing the outer 2 pieces on. And that is the end of snack set number 3. You've just learned how to do a partial seam. Can't wait to see all your cute little blocks. VFWQuilts.com.